Hey, they say the best way to overcome a losing streak? Start a winning streak. Dodgers head into the All-Star break on a winning streak, little tiny winning streak, but a winning streak nonetheless. Finish the first half strong and now get a much-needed rest. We're going to dig into the last two games of this series and talk about what maybe can get right on the All-Star break on this episode of All Dodgers. Hey, what's up, Dodger fans? I am Jeff Snyder. This is the All Dodgers podcast. I am coming to you from my home in Pleasant Grove, Utah. Happy to talk Dodgers with you. I have been off for a few days. I missed you guys. I had a fun little staycation here with my family, just focusing on the family the last few days. I did watch every Dodger game too. And, you know, some of that was unfortunate, but the last couple days was much more fun. Happy to be back talking Dodgers with you here on this Sunday evening. Remember, All Dodgers is part of the Believe network of podcasts, brought to you by Bet Online. Tell you more about that in a minute, but what else? Yeah, that you know me. I am Jeff Snyder. Clint Pasillas is the other guy here behind All Dodgers, plus producer Skinner7 Kevin. Clint is at Real FRG. I'm at Snydog on the socials. All that good stuff. Let's talk Dodgers, shall we? The Dodgers lost 7 games in a row. Last you heard from our channel was after the Dodgers lost the series opener against the Giants on Friday night because Dustin May was really bad. And the offense battled. Ended up scoring 6 or 7, I think 6 runs off of Logan Webb, 7 runs total, and came back and almost won the game. Not quite, though, unfortunately. But after that, basically pitchers not named Dustin May in this series, they had an ERA. I did the math earlier, and then I forgot it. Let's see. Quick math. I don't know what just happened there. Come on, people. I don't know. I can't figure out. My keypad on my keyboard stopped working, the number key. So I got to use the actual numbers. 4 divided by 21 and a third equals that times 9. ERA is 1.69. The rest of the series. It shouldn't have taken that long, but it did. Dustin May was bad. Everybody else who pitched for the Dodgers was good, with the exception of Tanner Scott. I guess let's get the bad out of the way first, okay? I'm not going to talk too much about Tanner Scott. I am probably the one person left who still believes that Tanner Scott is going to be a dog for us in October. He's not giving us any reason to think that right now, but that's what I believe. I believe that Tanner Scott is going to be good, and so I'm not going to focus on that because my main criticism I get as a podcaster is that I am annoyingly optimistic, and so I'm not going to try to shove Tanner Scott optimism down your throat right now, but I do want to get it on the record so that later when he is awesome, I can say, I told you so, and you'll have to say, yep, you told us so. But I'm not going to force that issue. Tanner Scott, and even that, he made a bad pitch and gave up a 2-run homer to Luis Matos to tie the game in the 9th inning today on Sunday. Thankfully, Ben Kasparius and Jack Dreyer. Ben Kasparius and Jack Dreyer got the job done in extra innings. The offense got the job done. The Dodgers won the game. But so you got Dustin May, the first pitcher of the series. Tanner Scott, the third to last pitcher of the series. They struggled. Everybody else pitched great. I mean, if you take out Tanner Scott too, and you can't just take out guys because they did pitch. And I wouldn't try to take Tanner Scott anyway, because I do believe Tanner Scott is a big part of this bullpen. Dustin May, I think his time is coming. I think his time as a Dodgers starting pitcher is at least in danger of coming to an end because he's not pitching well, and they have, Glasnow is back. Snell is coming back. Shohei Ohtani is building up. Like at some point, you're going to look and say, okay, I mean, even Justin Wroblewski, who's currently in AAA, is probably a better option than Dustin May. And I don't know what the answer is with Dustin May. The reason he's still in the rotation right now is because Justin Wroblewski has options and Dustin May doesn't. And so you can send Wroblewski to the minors. But Dustin May's time is coming, unfortunately. And So I'm not too. If Dustin May is starting games for the Dodgers in October, the Dodgers have bigger problems than Dustin May, I guess is what I'm getting at. So that's why it's like, okay, yeah, it sucked that he sucked again, but it's not the end of the world as far as I'm concerned. And it gave the Dodgers offense a chance to battle. And the Dodgers almost won that game. You look at the game on Friday night, the Dodgers had the tying run in scoring position, the winning run on base, or the go-ahead run on base, and the best hitter in the National League at the plate. And unfortunately, that guy Will Smith hit into a game-ending double play, which happens. Even good hitters hit into double plays sometimes. But the Dodgers to be down, 8-2 in that game, and come back and only lose 8-7. We were in our Discord server watch along party. I wasn't in the watch along for very much because I was on my family staycation. But once my family went to bed, I hopped in there and I told them it's to the extent that you can enjoy moral victories, scoring 7 runs in a game that Logan Webb started, 6 of them off of Logan Webb. At least it tells you, well, maybe the offense is coming around. And then, the last 2 days, they scored 2 runs in regulation in each of the last 2 games. So there's still work to be done. But also, Landon Roop and Robbie Ray are both good pitchers too. I'm going to have to hit the good pitchers, but I will take a game where they hit a good pitcher in Logan Webb, and hopefully they can build on that. I got a super chat here from Ray Soto. $4.99 super chat from Ray. He says, just for me to practice on super chats. You know what? There is no better reason to send me a super chat. In fact, if anybody wants me to practice on a $20 super chat, I'm happy to do that. So thank you, Ray, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you who are in here with me. Let's go ahead real quick and just let you know that today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for all your sports betting action. With baseball in full swing and football season right around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB, UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. So head to the website, betonline.ag, today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. BetOnline, the game starts here. And getting back to the Dodgers, we saw some really good pitching from the Dodgers after Dustin May left the game on Friday. That's basically was my point. In that game, we had, I can't remember which relievers pitched in that game, but kind of everywhere. Anthony Bonda came in and allowed the last couple of Dustin May's runs. You could say Anthony Bonda didn't pitch great in that game. That would be a fair assessment. The rest of the team did. Most of the time I'm talking about the starting pitching, though, and I'm including Shohei Ohtani there. Between Shohei Ohtani, Emmet Sheehan, I guess I should say I'm including Emmet Sheehan. See, he's the starter who didn't start a game. But Ohtani, Sheehan, and then Yamamoto today on Sunday, those 3 guys were outstanding. Combined to allow 1 run in, whatever that was, 7 plus, 7 or 8, a lot of innings. They allowed 1 run. Just absolutely dominant. Shohei looked so good on Saturday. Struck out the side in the first inning, I believe. Ended up with 4 strikeouts, got through 3 innings, which they wanted him to do, was very efficient. The stuff looked good. I mean, after that first inning that Ohtani pitched this season against the Padres, he has been somewhere between awesome and dominant. And, that's 2 good things to be between when you're a pitcher. Emmet Sheehan came in. He ran up his streak of hitless innings against the Giants to start his career up to past 14 innings before he finally gave up a hit. Eventually did give up a run, but just looked great. Emmet Sheehan is looking really, really good. And then Yamamoto, after his last start, his clunker of a start in Milwaukee, to come back, bounce back, and pitch 7 scoreless innings against the Giants, just dominant. This was the Yamamoto that we know and love. He's hitting his spots. He is throwing every pitch for strikes or strikes enough to get swings. Just everything you could want in a Yamamoto is what he gave us on Sunday. Really, really fun to watch. And the Dodgers pitching just shut down the Giants. After, like I said, after they scored those 7 runs off Dustin May, they scored 4 runs the rest of the series. 2.5 games, 4 runs. And, 2 of those were on a 2-run homer off Tanner Scott. They didn't really scratch much across. They didn't really battle. The Dodgers didn't allow rallies. I mean, I think the Giants had one runner in scoring position in this entire game on Sunday, not counting the 2 ghost runners in extra innings. I know that everybody's a big fan of the ghost runner, Jeff the ghost runner, right? All in all, really, really good pitching, and the offense did enough. I guess let's talk about the offense a little bit because, like I said, they scored 7 runs on Friday. Saturday, they only scored 2 runs. They won 2-1. But is that right? That's right? I know. They won 2-1. I started to doubt myself for a second. I should know to never doubt myself. Let that be a lesson to you young children at home. Never doubt yourselves, especially when you're right. But they won that game 2-1, and both runs were scored by Michael Conforto. Michael Conforto was the offensive star for the Dodgers on Saturday. He went 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, driven in by ground out by Tommy Edman and a bloop single by Haesung Kim. Michael Conforto, this is twice now this year. Like I've been pretty patient with Michael Conforto. I understand what the Dodgers are doing with Conforto. Why they would keep giving him chances because he does have a history of being good, et cetera, et cetera. Twice this year, I have gotten to the point where I've said, well, maybe it's just time to give up on Conforto. And both times he almost immediately said, hey, Jeff, quit being an idiot. And, maybe I should have doubted myself on those. I have no idea. I don't know if I should be doubting myself about Conforto right now or not, because the fact is right now, Michael Conforto is not the defensively challenged outfielder that the Dodgers necessarily need to be worrying about, because Teoscar Hernandez is hitting worse than Michael Conforto right now. I do think overall Teoscar is a better hitter, and maybe, you know what? Yeah, we're talking about the offense, so I'm going to jump into my other slide here, where I said, what can the All-Star break fix? Because Teoscar Hernandez is one of the things that I'm hoping the All-Star the All-Star break can fix a little bit, because I believe it seems obvious to me that Teoscar is hurting right now. Teoscar is running very, very slowly. He's had, in the outfield and, on the bases, everything. Teoscar looks hurt. And I don't know how much of his bad defense to blame on being hurt, because the fact is Teoscar has always been, at least as long as we've known him, I don't know if he was any good defensively earlier in his career. In his year and a half with the Dodgers, he has always been a bad defensive outfielder. Last year he was in left field and was bad. This year he's even worse in right field. I don't really believe that right field is the reason that he's worse. I think he has just gotten worse, and some of that is because I think he's injured. Between the foot and what ended up being a groin injury, I think he's hobbled. And so I hope that once he's healthy, he will get back to being really bad on defense instead of unbearably bad. Because I guess even more so, I hope he starts hitting again. I hope when he gets healthy, he starts hitting again. Because last year, nobody cared very much. We did bring it up once in a while, but it wasn't a huge talking point that Teo was bad on defense, to the point where this year I think there are people who didn't even really notice last year that he was really bad on defense, because the offense made it worth it. And so it's like, okay, yeah, I love Teoscar. This year, because he's not hitting the last couple months, all we have to focus on is, he's also really bad at defense. And so I don't know if 5 days is enough to fix Teoscar Hernandez, to get him feeling more healthy. I kind of feel like if they thought 5 days was enough, they probably would have placed him on the 10-day IL and just let him take 10 days to feel better. It seems like it's maybe going to be a nagging thing, but I'm really hoping that it can at least help a little bit. And whether that's just getting his mindset right so he can at least start hitting line drives again, because, if he runs slow and plays bad defense but is also getting a bunch of hits, I don't care. Just get the hits for me, Teoscar, and we will deal with the bad defense. It's okay. Not okay, but okay enough. Another guy, Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman had 2 huge hits for the Dodgers on Sunday. 2 go-ahead hits. He had the RBI double to score the first run of the game, and then he had the RBI bloop single in the 11th inning to put the Dodgers ahead 3-2, the eventual winning run. The Dodgers tacked on a couple more, but Freddie Freeman put the Dodgers ahead twice in this game on Sunday. Both times that they took a lead, it was Freddie doing it. And, after the game, Kirsten Watson was talking to Freddie and asked him, do you feel like you're getting your swing back? And he kind of laughed and said, well, I said a couple weeks ago I thought I was, and then it just took a nosedive or spiraled or whatever word he used. But he's, Freddie expressed optimism that the All-Star break will help him get right. Last year we saw Gavin Lux over the All-Star break go home, talk to his uncle, the hitting coach, and figure something out. We know that Freddie Freeman's hitting coach, his main hitting coach, is his dad. He is going to be in the All-Star game, starting the All-Star game in Atlanta, but he'll still have a couple days after that, a couple days off where he can hopefully spend some time, maybe figure something out, because we need Freddie hitting line drives again. It's been weird to see Freddie slumping as badly as he has been recently. Maddie just said in the chat, Freddie's strikeouts are concerning. Never seen him strike out this much. And yeah, the strikeouts are definitely a big part of it. He is swinging through pitches that you would expect him to be hitting. So it was very nice to see him get one of those pitches on Sunday and rip it down the right field line for a double. Classic Freddie Freeman swing. There's a lot of classic Freddie Freeman swings. We think of him hitting it to the opposite field, but pulling doubles down the right field line is definitely a classic Freddie too. When he gets a pitch on the inside part that he can rip. So hopefully the All-Star break can help him. Obviously Mookie Betts, whatever's going on with him, he won't be in the All-Star game, so he can just take a break. There are guys on the offense that the Dodgers need them to pick it up. Even Andy Pages has been slumping lately. Tommy Edman, I saw some chat about Tommy Edman in the chat, who has definitely been struggling. I was always a little nervous about Tommy Edman just because he didn't hit very well in the regular season last year for the Dodgers. He hit obviously very, very well in the NLCS, and that was a big part of what got him his extension. Also, though, his defensive versatility was a big part of that, getting him that extension, because he does provide value. There's a reason that Tommy Edman is still playing every day, starting just about every day, even though he's not hitting, because he is very good defensively at multiple positions. He is kind of the glue that's holding this defense together, where we saw in this game, he started the game at second base, and then because Robbie Ray was on the mound, so they had Rojas at third, and then when they pinch hit for Rojas with Kim, once there was a righty on the mound, then Edman shifted over to third and Kim went to second. Having a guy like Edman who can bounce around multiple positions is very valuable, but it would be even more valuable if he starts hitting. I don't need him to be NLCS 2024 Tommy Edman, but I'd like him to be quite a bit better than he's been lately. He's looked pretty bad in a lot of ways, and so hopefully Edman can figure some things out. All in all, Ohtani has been okay lately, but not classic Ohtani. And so, I do think Ohtani's just streaky, and I think he's going to go on a hot streak soon. And it'll feel like, he figured something out, and really it'll just be, he's streaky. We talked about Conforto, Pages, Edman. Dalton Rushing obviously is hoping to still figure some things out. Will Smith, I think, will enjoy the break. I know he is obviously starting the All-Star game, but it's still a break. You playing 3 innings in an All-Star game, 3 innings over 4 days, not bad as far as workload goes. So hopefully he will bust out. Let's talk about Miguel Rojas for a second. I saw somebody in the chat saying Kenny Chung says he hates Rojas so much that he can't say anything positive about him, even when he's having success, which, I'm okay with. I don't hate Rojas. I don't have strong feelings one way or the other, actually. But I saw something that I thought was funny on Sunday, and let's see if I can fit. This comes back to me trying to figure out how to do stuff here on the software. Okay, you can see my browser there. So I am going to play you the home run that Miguel Rojas hit today, except with a little bit of precursor. You got the Strike one that he thought was ball four there. He goes to take off a shin guard. Strike two, which is definitely in the strike zone. He goes to take off a shin guard. He thought it was ball four. The umpire called it a strike. And then he fouls off a couple pitches. Let's skip. He calls a timeout, fouls off a pitch, fouls off another pitch. And then, so he thought he walked. And he didn't. There's the second foul ball. After thinking he had walked but didn't walk, then he hits a home run. Obviously, most of us were watching this. You saw that happen. Did it feel familiar to you? Because it felt familiar to me. And the reason it felt familiar to me is because this is what happened 8 days ago against Framber Valdez of the Astros. Said, no, you didn't. And he said, okay, then I'll hit a home run instead. It doesn't mean anything. It's just one of those quirks. But I wouldn't be surprised if he leads the league in home runs in at-bats where he thought he had walked a pitch or two earlier. That's a thing to lead the league. And speaking of leading the league or leaders and stuff, this game on Sunday was called by Steven Nelson and Hunter Pence on Roku. They get one Dodgers guy, one Giants guy, and get them together. I thought they did a great job. I've always had a soft spot for Hunter Pence, even when he was on the Giants, partly because he's so goofy. It's hard to, everything Hunter Pence does, he looks like it's the first time he's ever done it. And I like that about a guy. But then also, I went to high school with Hunter Pence's sister-in-law, and so I'm still friends with her and enjoy, we kind of have a friendly banter. Her kids are big fans of Madison Bumgarner, so I always give her a hard time about that they couldn't pick a better guy to be a fan of. But so I have a soft spot for Hunter Pence. I thought they did a good job. Pence was a little bit pro-Giant at times, but really, I thought he did a good job. And when they bring in a Dodgers guy and a Giants guy to call the game, that's kind of what they're looking for. And we've seen things like this back when YouTube was doing games a while back. It was like they'd bring in like major homers, and so I thought this was really good. But at one point, they were talking about how Freddie Freeman was one double away from tying Lou Gehrig or passing Lou Gehrig or whatever on the all-time doubles list. And Hunter Pence said something about anytime you can talk about a Lou Gehrig record, that's a pretty big deal. And it made me laugh because Lou Gehrig doesn't have the record for doubles. It's not a record. It's a number of doubles that Lou Gehrig hit, and it was a lot, obviously, because he's still one ahead of Freddie Freeman, and Freddie Freeman has a ton. But it got me wondering, and this might be one of my off-season research projects, how often do we have a day where somebody doesn't pass Lou Gehrig in some mark? And I would guess that most days somebody passes Lou Gehrig's career mark in something because, he wasn't a big base stealer. If you go to the things that Lou Gehrig wasn't really known for, probably, so he had 102 career stolen bases. People probably pass that fairly regularly. Also had 102 caught stealings. That's interesting. 790 strikeouts in his career. You probably have guys passing that mark all the time. Let's see. Obviously he had a lot of big things. But it's always funny to me when people talk about it. You'll see things like, how is this guy not in the Hall of Fame? He had more home runs than Pete Rose and more stolen bases than Frank Thomas and more doubles than, whoever is. It's like, okay, but what about comparing him to guys with things that they were good at? Lou Gehrig wasn't known for his doubles. He was known for a lot of things, not necessarily his doubles. So I thought that was funny that they were making a big deal, or that Hunter Pence acted like it was a bigger deal than it was. Obviously, it's a big deal. Freddie Freeman has a lot of doubles in his career, but that made me laugh. Just something I thought of right there. This has just kind of been just random thoughts about the game on Sunday between the Miguel Rojas thing and the passing Lou Gehrig thing. All in all, I'm hoping the Dodgers can take this chance, take this All-Star break, get rested up. I do think health is a big issue with this team right now. We've talked about Freddie Freeman, how he banged up in so many different ways. That's probably part of his slumping. Just even though he's hitting really well earlier in the season, you probably wear down quicker when you're nursing 3 different injuries. And so hopefully he can feel a little bit better. Mookie Betts, I think there's still something health related for him with his lack of power. I think it has to do with not regaining the muscle he lost when he was sick early in the season. Teoscar clearly has an injury or two that he's nursing. Edman, I mean, even Edman in this game, he hit a ground ball. What was it? Up the middle, I think I thought, oh, Edman's going to beat that out, or at least have a chance to beat it out. And then he was out by a step and a half. And I don't think he's running full speed 100% either. And so a lot of Dodgers could use a little bit of a break. Tanner Scott, I think, could use a little bit of a break. The pitching staff could, there's never a bad time to take 4 days off in the middle of a season. It's a long season, and hopefully the Dodgers can come out because they've got the Brewers when they come back, and they're probably going to be facing Jacob Misiorowski again. They're probably going to be facing Freddie Peralta again. We'll see who they face. Those guys are both in the All-Star game. Actually, Peralta is probably one who got replaced because he probably pitched today. But Misiorowski, maybe Dave Roberts will have Misiorowski throw 6 innings in the All-Star game so that he can't pitch against the Dodgers this weekend. Probably not, though, and I guess he'd still even line up to pitch on Sunday. But the Dodgers offense needs to show up, and if the pitching shows up the way it did in this weekend, not counting Dustin May, then, scratch across a few runs, battle, and hopefully get a little bit of revenge. Maybe not sweep the Brewers, but get a little bit of a revenge on the Brewers for the sweep in Milwaukee last week and do something good there. I'm looking forward to the All-Star break. I am going to miss my Dodger baseball. I enjoy watching Dodger baseball. I'm kind of glad that I don't really care about the home run derby this year because, as I've mentioned a time or two, I'm going to be at the Barry Manilow concert tomorrow night, and so I'll watch the home run derby later probably, but might even just watch highlights. So I'm kind of glad there's no Dodgers in it. None of my favorite players. I'm excited to watch Cal Raleigh. James Wood is always fun to watch. I think James Wood is either going to hit a ton, like a record-breaking number of homers, or he's going to pull Mike Piazza and just hit a bunch of line drives. It's hard to tell looking at James Wood if he is a home run derby type of power guy or not. O'Neal Cruz is obviously going to be fun to watch because he hits the ball really hard. Acuna being in his home stadium. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to watch it. Jazz Chisholm got in the home run derby somehow. I don't know how that happens, but whatever. Maybe the power hitters didn't want to be in it, so they say, hey, Jazz Chisholm, how about you? But whatever it is, it'll be fun. But I'll be at the Barry Manilow concert, and that'll be very fun too. And then the All-Star game on Tuesday. I think that the National League has a better roster, and that hasn't been the case very often lately. But I think the National League has a very good team, has a decent chance of winning. I will watch. I don't really care who wins, but to the extent that I do care, I'm a National League fan. I'm rooting for the National League. It's one of those things where I'm rooting and there's zero stakes. So it's kind of like a postseason game, like after the Dodgers have been eliminated and I go into a series like, oh yeah, I guess I'm rooting for this team this series. And then if they don't win, I don't care at all. That's kind of how I feel about the All-Star game. And then 2 days off after that, Wednesday and Thursday, before the Dodgers head home to take on the Brewers after that. Get some rest for the Dodgers, get some rest for us, but no rest for the weary when it comes to podcasting because all Dodgers are going to be here for you several times during the All-Star break. We are not slowing down on our content because we love talking Dodgers with you. There's a lot of ideas we have, as far as looking back at the first half, looking forward to the second half, and digging into what we can expect from the Dodgers over the last 2.5, 3 months of the season, heading into October. And but the nice thing is the Dodgers right now have their, a pretty decent lead in the National League West. Obviously, they beat the Giants the last 2 days. The Padres also lost on Sunday. And so they head into the All-Star break 5.5 games up on the Padres, 6 games up on the Giants, 11 games up on the D-backs. And good situation to be in. For losing 7 games in a row and still going to the All-Star break with a healthy lead in the division, can't complain too much about that. Obviously, if they had gone 5-2 instead of 0-7, then they would have a 10.5 game lead on the Padres. But, they didn't, so they don't. But, maybe that's what's coming up. Get a winning streak, stretch this lead to double digits, and chill out a little bit. Maybe then, if the Dodgers were up by double digits, maybe they would just say, okay, let's do some IL stints. Let's get Ryan Ward playing first base for a little while and see what somebody else can do while Teo rehabs a little bit. But we'll see. we will be here to talk about it with you here at All Dodgers forever and ever. Thanks for hanging out with me here tonight. I enjoy these Sunday night solo shows. I'm also looking forward to talking more with Clint and Kevin over the next few days. Remember, rate, review this show wherever you're listening. If you're on a podcast platform, if you're watching on YouTube, like the chat, live chat is fun, but comments are forever. Drop your comments down below. Obviously, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so that you will get notified when we are live. We try to do our best to let you know, but ring the bell on YouTube, and then YouTube will let you know. If you're looking for another way to support the show, check out Patreon, patreon.com/realfrg. Click the join button here on YouTube. Either of those ways. If you are in the $5 tier, you get access to our Discord server, which is a ton of fun. We're doing monthly game watch parties, maybe even a couple times a month. We're going to do some members-only live streams starting soon. Occasionally meetups at Dodger Stadium, all sorts of stuff. Check out the Discord. All you got to do, go to patreon.com/realfrg. As Jenny in the chat says, subscribe. That's going to do it for me. Excuse me. Again, I am Jeff Snyder. I am at Snydog on Twitter. You can find Clint Pasillas at RealFRG on Twitter and Instagram. You can find Kevin on Twitter at Skinner7Kevin. We love talking Dodgers with you. Check out the description for links to all of that stuff. Thumbs up, subscribe, etc., etc. Go Dodgers. We will talk to you very soon about, probably Jazz Chisholm winning the home run derby or whatever. So we will talk to you soon. Peace out.